What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting Art of War stream. It is Index Day, the day of Ascension, and it has been Index Day all week.
These are my forearms for my forearm friends. It's Genestealer cult time!
Whoop, 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 whoop!
Xenos Day, Genestealer cult time. It's Day of the Ascension. Everything's so exciting, John.
Absolutely. I am super hyped for new Genestealer cult rules. I think that they did an amazing job with this army. We've got brand new rules for 10th edition 40k, because today is the day that GW released all these the Xenos indexes for the remaining armies in the game.
That's right, we're going to be live all day to you streaming. We just did Orcs, we just did Craft Worlds, and don't worry, we're not stopping after Genestealer Cult. We got Tau, then Drukhari, and Leagues of Votann coming out, so don't you go anywhere. Stay glued in your seat, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and just chill here all day as we read rules to you and break down what's good, bad, left, right, and sideways in Warhammer.
Absolutely. So, if you like these videos we've been doing today, make sure that you like these videos. So, click that like button, leave a comment below, let us know what Genestealer Cult characters you're most excited for. And of course, if you want to see some of the videos we're putting up later today, you should subscribe to the channel. That way you're going to get notified whenever we go live with new content. And, well, Games Workshop has promised some more updates tomorrow as well, so you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to be tuned in, dialed in, glued to your seats. Subscribe and you'll get notified whenever we go live.
And while you're glued to your seats, glue some models and learn how to, in the Worm, we got a 3-day free trial going on right now for 10th edition's launch. The link is right below me, right above John, and even in the description for your easy clickability. It is thewarroom.vhx.tv. Transports you to a 3-day free trial of all our wonderful War Room content. You get to experience our Discord server, which is a buzz with all these new rules. All of our top coaches are in there talking about what they're excited for, what's going to work, what's not going to work. And we're going to start playing games. We're getting points tomorrow, and you best believe we're going to be writing lists telling you what's what, who's what, and how to Warhammer. So check out that free trial down below.
All right. So, you said we were going to be talking about what we're excited about. Are you ready to talk about what we're excited about?
The Four-Armed Friends.
The Four-Armed Friends.
Okay, so let's go back to the top here and talk about their ambush rule. So we've already seen this in the preview, but let's just revisit how it works for everybody. So basically, every time one of your units is destroyed that has the Cult Ambush ability, you're going to roll a dice, and on a 4+, that unit's going to just go back into reserve for you, and you're going to put an ambush token anywhere on the board. That token has to be 9 inches away from enemy models, and other than that, it can go wherever it likes. At the end of your opponent's next reinforcement steps, so they're going to get a whole turn, presumably, to move around and do stuff. Then you're going to revive a unit. And the only stipulation to that revival is that one dude touches the blip marker. So you can string and chain and just have endless dudes all day long, so long as your opponent isn't fast and all over the table destroying your blip markers. And the coolest part, John? Battle line units get +3 to this roll, so your troops are coming back automatically.
What a rule. Now, it does say that any characters that are attached to these units don't get to do that. So if a character is attached, it doesn't come back attached. But still,
I don't have
all your
infinite
troops,
patriarchs.
No, you only get one. Only one patriarch. I'm so sorry. He's too epic.
I'll live.
But still, all your troops just come back forever. So if you wanted to take an army that was all battle line, you didn't even have to roll.
That's true.
We'll just have 2,000 points at the end of the game.
You also get up to 500 points of guard in your army, which is kind of cool. You can't take these guys.
Yep. So you can't take the people who aren't just generic guards. You can't take the commissars, the heroes,
the ogre.
All what you'd expect. No problem there. Still, even though you're not going to get all the extra military rules, they have some powerful data sheets. So if you want to supplement in some heavy shooting, guard is a good avenue to do that.
Nice. What else we got? We got the detachment rule. I think we've seen this before as well, but just to reiterate, this is for Genestealer cults. When you arrive from reserve, you're going to get sustained hits 1 and ignores cover on all your attack, shooting, and close combat. Money. Whammy.
Money well spent. That's a really good shooting buff there. They're continuing that theme that we've had since 9th edition as well, where they're trying to make Genestealer Cult a little bit more of a come up and shoot you army.
Yeah.
And they're making them good at it, so no objections.
I gotta say, I like the janky combat GSC from 8th edition. I prefer that style, but I'm gonna embrace this new style of GSC that GW is putting upon us.
Indeed. All right.
So, unquestioning loyalty. You want to take this one?
Let's do it. So, we're in the stratagems. We've got 6 of these. First one is 1 CP, which is nice. In your opponent's shooting or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected the targets, 1 character unit from your army is your target. And until the end of the phase, each time a character in your unit would lose a wound, select a friendly Genestealer Cult unit within 3 inches of it that's not a vehicle, and your character doesn't lose the wound, and instead they take a mortal.
Nice. So basically, we have very, very squishy stuff, and our characters like to join units and provide awesome buffs to them. But there's a lot of precision in this game, and people can just start attacking your characters and killing them very effortlessly. This is a stratagem to essentially get around that.
Yeah. And I love that this is when the unit's selected as a target. It's not beginning of phase. So you get to see if your opponent walks up and says, I'm going to use Heroic Challenge. You can just be like, oh, wow, now seems like a good time to maybe have the Patriarch pass off to his friends.
Yeah. And you know what? Another question people are asking about, can we take multiple characters in our detachments? It's the detachment rule gone. You sure can! You want triple Primus? Take triple Primus. It really is like that.
Triple Kellermorph?
John.
I know you like Triple Kellermorph.
Triple Sanctus? Triple Reductus Saboteur. Get the whole party going. Just for an army of elite characters. Just do it. Triple, what's the Biophagus? Join to your Aberrants.
Oh, man.
Coordinated Trap, 2CP. So this is one of the strats you're going to really want to synergize your Nexus with. We'll get to that, but he makes this free, essentially. So you're going to use it at the start of your shooting or your fight phase. 2 Genestealer unit squads in your Genestealer cult squads in your army that have not been selected can be selected, and they're going to get +1 to wound, but they have to make all their attacks against the same enemy target. So basically, you pick one enemy unit, and 2 of your squads are getting +1 to wound against it.
Yeah, you already mentioned the Nexus. This is great.
2
CP is steep, but justified.
2 CP is steep but justified. It's 2 units +1 wound.
Yeah, if it was 1 CP, 1 unit +1 wound, I'd love it. It's 2 CP, 2 units +1 wound. Great.
Yeah, the only thing is it's harder to access because it's 2 CP. Sometimes you only have 1, but whatever, take a Nexus, it'll make it free. This is awesome.
Yeah,
this is so good.
So good.
This is so good.
I think this is a staple strat for GSC, and we're going to see it a lot.
The thing I hate about this, though, is that your opponent could Vect it. They've seen a lot of Vect type abilities, but even more value on that Nexus then.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, they might Vect it, but that's why it's there.
That's why it's there. Tunnel Crawler is another great stratagem. So this is in your movement phase. You pick a Genestealer cult unit from your army, and it shows up 3 inches away instead of the normal 9 inches away. We've had it. It's still here. It's awesome.
It used to be 2 CP. Then it was a points cost. Now it's 1 CP.
And now it's 1 CP. You can't charge after it. Whatever. Use it for stealing objectives. Use it for completing secondaries. Use it for just getting into nooks and crannies and doing cool stuff.
Yeah. My one gripe is that they changed the name.
Tunnel Crawlers.
Yeah, they could just kept it lurking.
Yeah.
Just make it easy for us old timers to remember.
That's true.
Still, awesome strat, great utility. Genestealer Cult has often had that identity of I'm a good mission playing army. I've got trash all over the board. I see no reason that couldn't continue when you've got access to a strat like this.
Yeah, and you can talk about strats with cool names. One with Darkness is a cool name.
That's pretty good.
May I? Please.
All right. In your opponent's shooting phase, after an enemy unit has selected its targets, 1 Genestealer Cult infantry unit that was selected as a target. That's what you target. And until the end of the phase, that unit has stealth and cannot be selected by a range attack unless the attack model's within 12 inches.
Wow. So basically, if you're not within 12 inches of me, you're just not going to shoot me.
Yep.
And I might just want to hit if you are within 12.
Yeah. Over 1 CP, money.
And it's retroactive. My opponent shoots me and I say, no, you don't.
Yeah, so I think that the way that this is timed is very confusing.
Yeah.
Because it's after you select targets, you can't be selected as a target, which I think rules is written means that the first unit still gets to shoot you.
Right.
And I feel like that's not what they meant, but I'm not really sure. So hopefully they just change the wording on this one way or another to make it clear. But I think it's still a great strategy.
That's a great point. Rules is written, it would basically be your opponent selects you as a target, then you use a stratagem, then you benefit from stealth for the remainder of this attack, and then beyond that point onward, you can no longer be the ranged attack target. So if someone has a lot of very powerful shooting attacks that'll one-shot you, maybe this strat won't be so good.
Yeah, but we'll see how it gets cleared up there, because it's a little worded a little weird.
And I've seen similar abilities, like Chaos Space Marines have one very, I think, identical wording. Maybe that'll also be clarified, because the wording is awkward.
All right, we got 2 more.
Perfect Ambush. This is a classic as well. It used to be 3 CP, now it's just 1. You use it in your shooting phase. 1 GSC unit from your army that is arrived from reserves and has not been selected to shoot this phase improves its blast scale and AP by 1. So that's just amazing. Another moneymaker strat. +1 BS, +1 AP.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. It's so good.
That is so good.
I think that one's going to be really, really potent. The improving AP is something I want to harp on. That's one instance of improving AP is very good. But we're going to look out throughout the book and see if there are more ways to do this, because if you can, money in the bank.
I think there might be. And also remember, you ignore his cover when you show up from reserve.
Oh, interesting. So, that's almost like a +1 AP right there.
Yeah, it kind of could be. So, especially with how accessible cover is these days. So then you're going to return to your shadows, another amazing strat. 1 CP at the end of your opponent's turn, pick 2 battle line GSC units or just 1 regular GSC unit, and remove the targets from the battlefield and put them in strategic reserves. And the units then come in with Deep Strike ability when they have to have the Deep Strike ability rather. So awesome, going back in reserves, completing secondaries, same Shaz, and just having more stuff in relevant places.
Is there a Genestealer called Infantry that doesn't have Deep Strike?
I don't think so.
All right, well, that's a good restriction then.
Yeah,
I accept.
yeah, well, it's here.
Awesome.
And you know what else I accept? I accept Grey Wing into the Warrior. Thanks so much for becoming a bronze member. Your support means a lot, and I'm sure you're going to find the value.
Absolutely. Welcome so much, Greywin. Welcome to the Discord as well.
All right.
Let's do it.
So,
Enhancements.
So this one is... They've got some good enhancements.
They've
got some good enhancements.
There's some spice here, some juice.
So Prowling Adjutant, once per turn, when your enemy enters the normal advance or fallback move with a 9 of the bear's unit, you can just move d6 inches. Mm-hmm. And that's going to combo with quite a few things we'll get to, but you can already imagine the ramifications of moving in your opponent's movement phase. We talked about it at length in Eldar because they got it in spades, but man, it's a good rule for GSC too.
You want me to tell you a trick with this?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is some of the tricks that we like to talk about in the war room, but I'm going to spoil one right now. Mm-hmm. So this is not in your opponent's turn. It's any time to end a normal move.
Right.
So if you run up to someone and they normal move away from you because they've got their own rule, boop, chase them.
Whoa! So you could just chase somebody with this? That's hilarious.
Yeah, like you run up to a Space Marine unit and they're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna move back away from you, make your charge longer." Oh well, boop, back.
Yeah, it's once per turn, so it's literally just your turn, your opponent's turn.
There's a particular character that I love this on, and I'll point it out when we get there.
Absolutely. And then Inscrutable Cunning is another, it's a GSC. Your unit and the bear he's with have infiltrators, so, 20 Neophytes all of a sudden infiltrating if you want.
That's strong.
That's pretty strong. And on a D6, you get a CP back if you use a strat on the unit. On a 4+.
Yeah, on a 4+.
Yeah, sorry.
That's like 2 enhancements that I would like. Yeah. But it's 1.
It's literally, infiltrate's a great rule, 4-up CP regen's a great rule. What if I got them together? We don't know how much these cost, hopefully they're cheap. Like, these are just great rules.
Mm-hmm. Meticulous Planner is the next one here. So this is obviously, all of these are for Genestealer called models only. Mm-hmm. Once per battle, after your opponent uses a stratagem, you can use this ability. Take that stratagem, raise that CP cost for the rest of the battlefield, rest battle by 1.
We talk about these Vect abilities. We've got Vect abilities.
As you should. They've been playing this for a couple generations now. Mm-hmm. Also, this does work on a CP reroll, and I know you may not even use it there because of how good some of these strats are, but I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing it on a CP reroll would be really fun.
If you see like a combat army fail a charge,
and
you're just like, immediately, let's make it cost 2. Like, the rest of the game, they're like, oh.
Yeah. There's or like a big monster army where it's like they really want to reroll saves and charges.
Yeah, sometimes it matters. There's a lot of good strats in 40k.
And then Focus of Adoration. This one's probably the least exciting, but still good. It kind of is a throwback to the previous codex. You can use the Heroic Intervention stratagem for this unit for 0 CP and already if it's been done that turn.
Love it.
It's cool. John loves his heroics.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
The Focus of Adoration goes on someone. We'll talk about them later. So much to talk about.
Let's talk about this 10-pound super chat from Will. I really am. If I make a unit unshootable after they are targeted, are the shots lost? Also, isn't ambush markers easy to stop? 18-inch bubble, you don't come back till your opponent's end of next turn movement phase. So it depends when your units die, right? So for the ambush marker part, like if you die in your opponent's turn, then you just have to plan for their next movement phase and then you show back up. So it's kind of not that difficult to think about. What about the shooting targeting aspect?
So for that shooting targeting aspect, I don't think the shots are lost for that initial activation. Again, this one's worded a little bit weird. I'm hoping that Games Workshop will maybe just post a little bit of clarifying language. It appears that the initial shots are not lost, then no one else could shoot.
They've also mentioned that they're going to put out a designer's commentary whenever the rules release, actually.
Yeah, so they did that 9th and 8th. I'm sure
hopefully, I mean, part of the whole experience that this is like they're getting their gameplay tested in a way, so the interactions like this that don't make sense, maybe they'll clarify.
Yeah, and I do want to make a quick note on those ambush markers, because I think we actually should have taken a second to talk a little bit more about how the ambush markers work. Again, I'm dropping these worm tricks in here, but you know what? There's even more in the worm, so make sure you're checking this out. So you have to, when you bring in your units from your blips, you have to deep strike within range of the blip, but you don't have to be like wholly within range of the blip. No. So if you have like a 20 strong Neophyte, maybe, and I put that blip marker 30 inches away from the enemy army, so I'm like, all right, this is just going to be safe. Mm-hmm. Well, I just have to have some Neophytes within an inch of it, just like one. So it'll be, all right, that one guy with like a shotgun or a las gun, and we're just going to trail all the way up, and oh, look at that, the seismic cannons and the Webbers are all in range. Look, how did this happen?
Yeah, there's actually no stipulation for like distance from the blip. The only rule about placing models when they come in off of one of these blips of the ambush, one model base to base with it.
It's just deep strike, one model within range. So you can chain all the way out. You could put a model 25 inches away from the starting blip, no problem. So if you're worried about a fast opponent, maybe you've heard that Eldar are decent. Maybe you put those blips a little bit further back, and then you trail up to them. And then when your opponent shoots you, well, just pull the guys in the back who aren't in range anyways. Like, who cares?
Then and we'll get to it all. We'll get to it all.
There's a lot of tricks and a lot of reason for optimism, I think.
And you can check all this stuff out. We're going to do a top 3 combos video for every single faction. They've actually already started releasing in the War Room right now. So if you become a member, 3-day free trial in the description below, you can start getting access to all these combos spelled out for you.
Yeah. There's a free trial at the beginning of edition. Now's the best time to join the War Room. All right. Let's hit...
Pretty pictures!
Just take a second. The Day of Ascension is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right, next. Data sheets.
Data sheets. Aberrants!
Oh, they started with Aberrant.
So, today, I found with the Eldar Codex, and apparently the GSC one, they are doing it in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, it was fun getting random falcons in the middle of Farseers.
Good. All right. Aberrants, though. Nick, you're a known Aberrant enjoyer.
I'm one of
myself.
the Muscle Beach. You too.
Have been known to enjoy the Aberrants.
Let's see if we're going to enjoy these Aberrants. They have been paying for their sins for quite some time, maybe 2 editions, but we'll find out if they're back. They move 6, toughness 6, 5 up armor, 3 wounds, OC 1. But here's their cool thing that I like about them. This 4 up feel no pain right there.
On a 3 wound model,
Huh.
You know, they lost their -1 damage, but they have a 4 up feel no pain.
And you know what else I really like? Toughness 6 is a lot better than toughness 4, but what about if it's being led by a character, maybe an Abominant? -1 to wound from attacks that are greater than their toughness. So, like, you're never getting wounded by better than 4s, unless it's, like, strength 12, then you're wounded on 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T6, 5 up armor, 4 up feel no pains, -1 to wound. Blah.
But it's all for nothing if they don't have offense. They do have 3 attacks with a heavy power weapon. This is the weapon that everybody gets. Yeah. They hit on 3, strength 8, AP 2, and 3 damage. So 30 attacks from a nice 10-man, AP 2, 3 damage. You can increase that AP with the strat. You can give them sustained hits as well. These guys hit.
I really like Aberrants. I love that they actually hit hard again.
Yeah.
You know, we missed those 2 attack days were dark. We don't talk about them. Aberrants look very tough. The character options actually have some appeal for once. So overall, very happy with Aberrants. I think we're going to get a unit back on the table at least.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than one.
Look how this is Chonk City. Like, if it's cheap enough, I'll run 30.
Yeah, and well, here's what I'm thinking is like, oh, this unit looks like it requires anti-tank. Oh, well, you don't want 1 unit of that, so make them not shoot it.
Roll a 4 up, they come back to life.
That's going to be I'm going to cry the first time Nick brings back 10 Aberrants on me. Then I know he's going to do it again. Oh, it's not going to be good.
You know I'm going to do it again.
I know he's going to do it again.
You know I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it twice.
No.
You can't kill him twice. You're right. Oh, and the Abominant. Let's find out what he does. Okay. So he gives your unit sustained hits 1. Wow. So those 30 power hammer attacks have exploding 6s.
Great.
That's great.
Also feel no pain 4+.
Oh, he's pretty tough. He's toughness 6 with feeling 4, feeling pain, 5 wounds. He's joined us Aberrants and -1 to wound. And then also regenerating gene mass on a 2+. He just comes back to life at the end of the phase.
Yeah, it's like Celestine with a 4 up feel no pain and a power sledgehammer.
Which honestly isn't super impressive. It is still 3 attacks, which I find offensive for this guy. But he does hit on 3s now, strength 12, AP 2, and D6+1.
And at least he'll also get sustained hits, so every once in a while you'll do something funny.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like him. I mean, if nothing else, he joins the Abominants. Or the Aberrant. The Abominant joins the Aberrants to give them -1 to wound, and the 3 wounds and the 4 up feel no pain. It's just nuts.
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, down the line, let's do it.
Ridge Runners, John, these are your babies.
You know I gotta take this one.
Take it.
All right, the Ridge Runners are back, and honestly, they are looking good. So we've got a couple things here. They move 12 T7 3 up save, 8 wounds. Oh, great. They've got a nice 9-inch scout move. I love that. They come in a unit size of 1 to 2 now.
They do, right?
And they've got a rule called Crossfire. So Crossfire is each time this unit is shot, select an enemy unit that was hit by 1 or more attacks made by the unit, And until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Genestealer cult unit makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, improve the AP of that attack by 1.
Wait, this will stack with the stratagem for extra AP to get yourself to AP2. And
It sure
when
would.
you show up from reserves, you get sustained hits and ignores cover.
You do.
So like your basic shotguns are AP2 ignores cover.
Ignore cover. Now, if you ever found a way to deep strike those guys, and you know you're deep striking here, so you got some choices. If you ever managed to deep strike them on top of a cargo container, you could get AP3 on a shotgun.
Because of plunging fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or just the upper level of
Pretty
it, really.
tricksy. I don't know. I think Genestealer cult are going to continue to shoot kind of hard.
These are sound like they're shooting pretty hard. We'll get to the weapon stats.
Okay.
Will I really am with another £5 super chat. The charge you must be within 1 inch of the base or hull, if no base. How do things like Tau tanks works when the base is smaller than the hull? Are they unchargeable? So typically in 9th edition on the data sheets they had a little line or so that said you ignore the base and only measure to the hull. I didn't see that in any of the Eldar data sheets.
I didn't either.
So I'm assuming that the Tau data sheets, which I have not looked at yet, don't have that clarification either. Maybe something that'll get addressed in the designer's commentary. For what I would recommend for ease of gameplay and probably intent is you just play from the hull.
Yeah, just kind of play by the outline. And whenever it's a case of, oh, this thing is more than an inch off the ground, I can't go within an inch of it, just kind of look top down, get within an inch of it.
If it becomes normalized that they in fact have made unchargeable Devilfish and Falcons,
I'm sure GW will let us know soon.
Yeah.
And your Tau friends will be so happy that they won't be mad about the 1 week where you got to play the game with them.
yeah, exactly
Right.
that. These things also scout on it.
Yes. Yeah, they've got some good war gear abilities as well.
So this is the one I also really like.
Okay, so you've got your choice of 3 different war gear abilities here. I think you can only have one of these 3. But
Yeah.
you can either get the smoke keyword, you can get a ballistic skill of 3+ for all ranged weapons, or each time you each time bear's unit has shot, select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more attacks made by the bearer. Oh, until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Genestealer unit makes an attack, they get ignores cover.
Yeah, so don't worry if you didn't show up from reserve. You can still ignores cover because you got hit by a server.
No.
You know what I really think is going to be good? If you take the heavy mortar, it's kind of mediocre as a gun. It's D6 plus 3 shots, hitting on 4, strength 6, 0 AP, 1 damage, but it's indirect fire. So you can hit anything on the board basically with the 48-inch range. D6 plus 3 shots, you're probably going to get a hit. And then, your whole army is going to be plus 1 AP and ignores cover against whatever that target
Pretty
is.
good. I like that a lot. What I think I kind of like is, since these come in units of 2s.
Yeah, 1 to 2.
1 to 2. So I own 9 of these, no secret here. But what I'm immediately looking at is, what if I have 1 with this survey auger and a mortar, and 1 with ballistic skill 3 and a mining laser in a unit?
Yeah.
And I'm just like poking them around, and obviously I'm taking 6 because I love Ridge Runners. It's my favorite
Right.
vehicle in the game.
Right.
I'm just saying, it's my favorite little dune buggy.
Yeah, I was thinking like 2 solos just to augment my army, but you like your Ridge Runners.
I think we've got good options no matter what.
You really do. You really do. And Adam Winning's also got some good options, and he's winning because he joined the War Room as a bronze member. Thank you so much, Adam. You're going to love it.
Thank you, Adam. We really appreciate your support.
All right, Acolyte Hybrids. They deep strike, they ambush, they got the good rules.
Yeah.
They...
It's the stat line you'd expect.
Yeah. Each time the model unit makes an attack, reroll hits of 1s, and if the target of the attack is on an objective marker, reroll wounds of 1 as well.
I love that.
That's a great rule. They
That's great.
They hate not having
and that does
rerolls, and now they
appear
do.
to be shooting and melee.
It sure does.
So you can build these either way, but that's pretty good.
So we're going to learn about some GSE stats here. They have demo charges, which I'm assuming only 2 models in this unit can have. Yeah, so basically any model can still have a hand flamer. That's the same. We'll learn what a cult icon does.
2 per 5.
2 per 5, so, and their squad is 5 to 10. So you could have up to 4 demo charges or up to 4 heavy mining tools in a max size unit, or just 2 in a small one. Demo charges are Assault, so advance and shoot, Blast, Hazardous in 1 shot, D6 plus 3 shots, hitting on 5s, not the most accurate, Strength 12, AP 2, Damage 2, and that could also just be AP 4, you know.
Yeah, well, here's a question. These demo charges are grenades, right? You can only throw 1 grenade at a time in a unit?
They don't have the grenade keyword.
That's because it doesn't exist in 10th edition.
Oh, so you can just like fire as many
You
demo
just throw
charges.
4 of these at once. And one of those isn't very impressive, but 4 of them...
4 of those is not unimpressive.
And that's the point where I think you might spend a CP on +1 ballistic skill.
Yeah, maybe +1 ballistic skill. Maybe that's one of your 2 units for +1 to wound. So it would be like, I don't know, on a big unit that you use the strat to show up 3 inches away to get in range. It's going to be 4d6 plus 12 shots blast. That's an average of 26 shots plus blast times 4.
Plus blast times 4.
Ballistic skill 5 sounds like ballistic skill 4 to me. Sustained hits. Sustained
Ignore
hits.
cover.
8 strength 12. Potentially AP4 ignores cover. +1 to wound. Damage 2.
I kind of like one of those units.
That's really nifty. I had not thought of that. I was interested
Rerolling
actually.
ones to hit and wound if they're on objective.
So I was really considering just taking 10 dudes with hand flamers, and I know strength 3, AP nothing, damage 1 is unimpressive, but I'm thinking 10d6 shots that are now AP 2 and +1 to wound ignores cover is kind of impressive.
Yeah, but like, why not take 4 demo charges and 6 hand flamers? Now we'll have to see how much the demo charges cost, but you could do 4 demo charges one place, 6 hand flamers in another, and I don't know. Someone's going to be unhappy about
Maybe
that.
even 2 things will be unhappy. One for like the big heavy thing for the demo charges, and like some trash unit dies to
I
some
think
AP2
you could kill like a Lehman Russ and a Guardsman squad at the same time with that.
What the bojangles with these? Okay. But you know, we haven't even talked about the fact that they come back to life. Because in the reinforcement step of your movement phase, you can return D3 models to the bearer's unit. And if it's in range of an objective marker, you can just bring back 3. I don't know that that's going to come up in a very suicidal unit like this, but it might come up on your 20-man Neophytes.
Nick, I hate that we didn't look. When a unit comes back after it dies, is it the same unit, or is it a new unit with identical equipment? Because the Imperial Guard have a strat to do something similar, and they get their Hunter-Killer missiles back and their one-shot weapons back. And if you're telling me that the Acolyte hybrids get their grenades back, that would be something.
Where does it say?
That unit is placed... okay.
I think it's the same unit.
I think it's the same unit too. So that's fair. So maybe not the one-shot weapons. Still, that is value town.
I've gone too far. I've gone
We're
too
good.
far. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I like Acolyte hybrids. Let's hit...
That's awesome. And the fact that they're battle line, they are battle line, right? They're battle
Absolutely.
line. Okay. Oh, and they can use the grenade strat, because they'll be 3 inches away from you when they show up. Bink, boop. That's awesome. These guys are great.
These are great.
Acolyte Icon Ward, another
Also
great character.
Wow, man.
Okay, so he's going to give your whole Unit 5 a feel of pain. So, like, let's see what he can join. Acolyte hybrids, Acolyte Metamorphs, and Neophyte hybrids. Okay, so like 20 dudes of 5 feel of pain.
Yeah, a 5 feel of pain's nice. Now, on a 1/1 model, that's a little bit, like, iffy sometimes, so I'm hoping he does at least one more thing.
Well, he summons the Cull.
Oh, so what does that do, Nick?
When your opponent drives or moves or any type of moves within 9 inches of a blip, the blip is destroyed, and that's an opportunity for you to resurrect a unit going away. But he has a once per game ability that says instead of destroying that blip, you just pick it up and put it wherever you like, within 12 of this guy, 9 away from the enemy.
So maybe I put one blip forward, and I say, do you want to commit like one of your fast resources to come get it? And if you do, it's like, all right, you got me to pop my roll. Good job. I'm going to go put it in a safe spot now. But also, I just got your fast-moving unit. And how many of those do people have?
And like, honestly, being able to just kill stuff and get momentum going for a blip reposition, like, what is that?
Yeah, like, but...
And I believe if you decide to take more than one of these, because maybe you want to give 60 Neophytes 5 of Feel No Pain, then... you could do that 3 times per game.
It says 1 or more models has this rule, so I think you really only do this once. Because it says once per battle if 1 or more models have this rule.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is 1 per, but you know what? I think that's a good one.
It's good.
I think 1 icon word might have some value.
He's pretty nifty.
There are some good enhancements, and someone's got to carry them.
Now we're talking one of my favorite units here. The Adelan Jackals. They're a run 3x10 kind of unit in 9th. I don't know if they're a run 3x10 unit in 10th, but they are still here.
They're really good.
Okay, John.
I love it.
John, tell me about these Jackals.
All right, so they're going to look a little fragile, and they're going to look a little unimpressive, but hold your applause to the end, I promise. All right, 12-inch move, T4, 5 up safe, 2 wounds, 4 wounds on the Wolf God. Great. They scout 9, so still a scout move. That's awesome. And then each time you use the Cult Damage ability to set this unit back up on the battlefield, it has to be near a blip and within 6 of the battlefield edge. So basically, they don't deep strike when you Cult Ambush them. They instead just outflank, which makes sense. They're driving on from the side. They're not rising out of the sewer pipes. Totally fine. But they've got Demolition Run. So the second rule here is actually a good one. And this is each time you end a normal move. This is weird. Not in my movement phase. Just anytime I end a normal move.
Does that mean it'll work with that Prowling Adjutant ability?
I told you I had a favorite.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna. I'm assuming the Jackal Alphus can join the Adelan Jackal.
Let's tell people what happens when you need to do this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So you roll a dice for every model in this unit, and for each 4+, you deal a mortal wound to an enemy within 6. So it's got to be within 6. That's not necessarily easy. With a scout move and a good 12-inch move, that's not impossible. Now let's talk about what. So You can go up to 10 here, because you could have 8 and then 2 wolf quads.
And then a Jackal Alphus.
A Jackal Alphus could be an 11th model, and we'll talk about that Jackal Alphus hopefully very soon. I'm really hoping she's the next one.
She's
probably all the
in
way
the
down.
J's.
Oh my god. if she's in the J's, we're going to give a quick rundown of why she's good. All right, but yeah, you can give them an Adelan Incinerator, which is like a good heavy flamer, or everyone has, small arms, 2 shots. Cool, you can take 2 grenade launchers. No more demo charges, but you have the demolition run rule instead. Or all pretty good. I think, you can either take a mining laser or a incinerator and be happy. I like the incinerator. Just because once you start getting some AP buffs, that ignores cover is really nice.
Yeah, so this thing can get up to AP3 potentially in a 10-man unit. That's 2d6 AP3 shots. That's just strong. Blasting someone with 11 dice 4-ups as mortals is great. And then when they go to move, if you have the Prowling Adjutant ability like we saw, do it again.
Yeah, like if someone gets within 9 of you and you move d6, well, you might just get closer to them.
Yeah.
Like, if they're less than 9 away and you roll a 3, you move 3 straight towards them and you say, well, now I'm less than 6.
Now, you could use this unit to, just scout 9 inches and then move 12 inches and go bomb something turn 1. But I think another cool usage could be just waiting for someone to, commit a real resource to, the midfield and then just nuke it.
Yeah, wait until someone tries. Yeah. Wait until someone gets a little too close. They move their precious unit up and you say, boom, I'm going to go move up to you, do all these mortals. Maybe there's something else to do a normal move while you wait. And then your opponent's turn, you say, hey, are you going to move?
Yeah.
And if their precious Death Star unit wants to remain stationary, all right, you got the Jackals.
So want to know another fun fact?
I do.
You can use the grenade strat on them because you're within 6. So
you might as well.
What's another 6 more dice to the pile on 4s?
Going from 11 to 17, we can get some mortals here.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit that next unit. We'll just see if it's the Jackal Alphus.
It's sure not.
You want to just tell people?
We can just go to the Jackal Alphus now because
he's
part of the fun. He's part of the package.
She's pretty great. There she is.
All right. So her stats are kind of relevant. Move 12, toughness 4, 5 wounds.
She's a character on a bike.
She's a character on a bike. Cool. So the Colt Sniper Rifle's cool. It's a heavy precision sniper shot. Strength 5, AP2, damage 3. It's not bad. Priority target is also a good roll. When she hits a unit with her precision sniper rifle, your army's going to reroll once to hit against it. They have this kind of crossfire type abilities.
Generically useful. That's great.
All that's good. Here's the moneymaker shot.
Read it.
Master Outrider. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, if it's not within engagement range of any enemies, move it up to 6 inches, as if it were your movement phase.
It's a normal move. Is that a normal move?
Make a normal move. Up to 6 inches.
Well, if you were attached to the Jackals, they might drop some demolition runs while they did that.
Let's check if she can attach. Oh, right there. Attach the Jackals. Okay, so that's going to be 11d6 in the movement phase for mortals. Yeah. Then I'm going to shoot you for whatever damage with my AP3s incinerators. Then I'm going to move 6 more inches. Oh, take another 11d6 mortals. So right now we've rolled 22 dice for our mortals.
Every 4-ups a mortal?
Every 4-ups a mortal. Let's throw the grenade while we're at it. We're 28 dice every 4-ups a mortal. Okay, now that we're 1 inch away from you, because we just moved 6 inches straight towards you.
Would you like to end a normal move with an enemy?
Yeah, I think you're probably going to.
So they can hold still.
So I'll chase you while I'm at it for d6 inches. And roll another 11 dice while I'm at it. Oh, so did I just roll 39 dice every 4-ups a mortal?
Yeah.
I think I killed something.
Someone took some mortal wound damage. I think even Custodes would not be enthusiastic at that point.
No, I don't think anyone is getting out of bed on their Tuesday and I'm here for 40 mortals to my face.
Ugh. Love that. I think she's great.
Roll a 4-up. We nailed it. It's coming back to life.
All right. So now we've got the Biophagus. This is one of the friends who can attach to the Aberrant squad, but he can join some other friends as well. Basically, he's a normal Genestealer profile, 3 wounds, and that's not what's important. What he does is he gives the unit he's attached to lethal hits. And that is for melee only, but that's still quite potent. As well, once per battle, he can give his unit... Oh, I'm sorry, he can give himself, wow, this is crazy, plus 3 attacks and damage to his Injector Goat. His Injector Goat is normally 1 attack at strength 2, AP 0, damage D3, but anti-infantry 2+. So every once in a while, it's like, I'm going to be 4 attacks, AP dash... Anti-infantry 2+, damage D3 plus 3.
So if he's joined, what can he join? He can join Aberrants, Hybrids, Metamorphs, or Neophytes, which is basically everything you'd want to join him to. So if he's joined your Aberrants, and you use strats on your Aberrants to buff their potency in close combat, he'll also benefit from that.
You sure would?
Then you pop Biological Warfare, and this little rinkadink, whatever dude, actually becomes a relevant combat model.
And once per game, that alchemical familiar, unfortunately he no longer kills the Swarmlord in melee. But what he does do now is he can give his unit anti-infantry 2+ once again.
Okay, so that really helps. I mean, the thing with Aberrants and their profile in general is I feel like they struggle versus vehicles, honestly, because they're only strength 8. But I'll take anti-infantry 2+.
Infantry 2+ is
pretty
good.
It'll stack with your lethal hits to get.
You're
wounding.
You're just
wounding. Actually, that's quite nice against like the tougher infantry of the world, like Possessed and Custodes. That is really good.
And I really like lethal hits just to help with some anti-tank popping as well. And then when you find an infantry unit, even like a small Aberrant unit will just scrape the floor with them.
Yeah, honestly, adding lethal hits to an Aberrant unit probably makes it hard enough to just kill tanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. You could add it to these guys. Hybrids obviously have access to close combat weapons and would appreciate things like lethal hits. But I just don't know.
I feel like the Aberrants.
This
is made for Aberrants.
This is made for Aberrants.
Yeah.
Clamavus. Okay, so he still has. He's a rinky-dink GSC character. He doesn't do anything. Let's see what he actually does. So that's stat-wise. He's a 12-inch range of -1 battle shock, and if you fail a battle shock, 1 mortal wound.
Okay.
Okay.
Cute.
And then enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 of this model, which is actually a great rule.
Kind of useful. It's useful for that Genestealer called Mirror.
So you know what I'm thinking, actually? A lot of armies are kind of like GSC right now, because Rapid Ingress is a new stratagem.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot more like recursion and go back into reserves that I'm finding as we're going through all these books.
Yep, every single army seems to have a little bit of that.
So the stock value on these 12 inches, absolutely not, is really good. One of the things I'm conceptualizing, theorizing with my GSC is like we're a very reactive army. Our opponent finishes their turn 2 and we're like, all right, now we get to play this game. And we get to show up in all the cool spots and we get to do all the cool things. But if they rapid ingress at that moment and put themselves in a spot which I don't get to react to now, that could really suck. That kind of takes away a lot of the potency of my drop turn, which is my whole shtick. So this guy can actually act as insurance for that. I like that.
Yep, I like him too. I like the just having access to a 12-inch no-go zone. You're not always going to want it, but it's nice to have this kind of tool in the codex for when the meta calls for it.
He can join the units you'd expect him to join.
Love it.
Hybrids, Metamorphs, and Neophytes, but also he can join it even if a Primus, Magus, or Icon Ward is already joined to that unit. So I expect all the characters to kind of have this.
I bet all the old elite characters are gonna have something similar.
Yeah, the Biophagus had it as well, so
yeah.
I think that's just gonna be common staple.
Great.
The Goliath Rock Grinder.
I like this tank.
So, moves 12, toughness 10, 3 of armor, 10 wounds. He's Rhino-esque with 1 more toughness. He lost his -1 damage, it seems. That's disappointing. But he is a firing deck for 6 models. And each time this model ends a charge move, select 1 enemy unit with engagement range, roll 6 dice, and every 4-up is immortal. So, he's got a bunch of different weapons. What do those do?
So, we've got a Clearance Incinerator. That's like a big, heavy flamer. He's got a cache of demo charges, which I actually like. It's just a demo charge at 6 inches, but 1 extra demo charge is not bad. And with firing deck 6, you could theoretically put some Acolytes with demo charges in there.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Kind of like that idea.
Drive at 12 inches and start blasting.
Yep. Heavy mining laser is just a D3 shot mining laser like what we saw on the Ridge Runner. His guns are fine. I think that you're mostly looking at this melee, which is the Drill Dozer Blade with its sustained hits 1, 6 attacks at a 10-2-2. And all of that's a solid package. It just looks like a good all-around package vehicle. It's got a little bit of shooting, a little bit of combat. It can carry 6 friends, I think, and it has firing deck 6.
Right now, I believe it's 110 points in 9th edition, so like if it stays in that range for 10th, I would totally take it.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay a ton of points for this, but if it's just like a good skirmish vehicle, this is annoying to kill for 100-ish, 100 to 130, like anything in that range I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I agree. And it can hold 6 models, which is nice because it's 5 dudes plus a character, but it cannot do a Patriarch.
Can't transport a Patriarch. He's just too cool.
I feel like I could fit a Patriarch on that back hatch.
You know, I don't think you want to.
Well, I guess I can't.
Just can't.
The Goliath truck, though, let's see what this does. So it's got the fire support rule. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select 1 enemy unit. It scored 1 or more hits against this phase, and it's got autocannons and stubbers. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport that turn makes an attack against that unit, you can reroll wounds.
Great, that's a good rule.
That's a great rule. You could take 10 Acolytes in this thing, drive it forward for the 4-armed Emperor, get out, and reroll wounds from it. And, like, you have plenty of shots. You have stubbers and autocannons. You want your AP2 hand flamers rerolling wounds? You want your demo charges rerolling wounds?
Oh, hand flamers. Oh, that's so
John,
nasty.
this is amazing sauce.
That's great. Yep.
This yes, it can carry 12 infantry models, not a Patriarch. So like your unit of very potent shooting people that want reroll wounds very, very badly.
I like it. Yep.
I feel like that goes in here. That's awesome. That's a really cool rule for this army.
Yep. I think that's super value. All right, hybrid Metamorphs. This is what I like. Hybrid Metamorphs is just a good data sheet. So it's the normal Acolyte profile on defense. It's what you'd expect. They have Deep Strike, and they have Scout 6 inches. So an infantry with Scout's kind of fun.
Nice, yeah.
And each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack on a 3+, don't remove from play, and you can fight on death.
3 fight on death.
They've got the same cult icon to heal models, but now let's look at their melee attacks.
So they all can take hand flamers if they want, and they have Metamorph mutations, strike and sweep, 2 different profiles. 3 attacks, they hit on 3, strength 5, AP 1, and 2 damage. That's their strike. Or sweeping for just 4, strength 5 attacks, strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage. That's a pretty hard hitting unit.
Yeah, and these are probably still cheap. It's still a 1-wound model with a 5 armor save, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not expecting this to be, 20 points a model.
It better not be. Then I wouldn't take
If they are, I won't take them. But, you can look at this and say, oh, this is probably a really good cheap skirmish unit. You run over, you kill 10 cultists on an objective, and you sit there. If someone tries to shoot you, you say, ooh, you can't shoot me. If they send a melee unit over, and you fight on death, and you take them out with you.
Yeah.
Great value.
Honestly. It's they scout, which will help them get to spots outside your deployment zone that are out of line of sight, and then they're kind of annoying to deal with.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Metamorphs here. I like that it's just something a little different from all the other infantry. I feel like they're a little more distinct from Acolytes now.
Yeah, they used to just be elite Acolytes, and it's like, why would I want an Acolyte that's not a troop?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I like this.
You can take 5 to 10.
Hey, the Jackal Alphus. We found her.
Hey, there she is. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, and the Kellermorph
Nick,
with 3 arms.
I know this is one of your favorites.
Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of the Kellermorph. I've ran 3 for years and years and years. That's not real. But her stats defensively are pretty trash, as you'd expect, but she does have 3 wounds to 5 Binvol. 3 wounds I really don't like because it means she can die to like random explosions and stuff.
Explosion's painful. Yeah, that's scary.
That's not a great place to be. But she's got Liberator auto stubs, which are 6 shots now, hitting on 2, strength 5, and 1 damage. They have a variety of weapon rules, though. Dev wounds right off the bat. It's a pistol. You can fire it in combat. Precision. You can shoot characters that are joined to units. And sustained hits D3, so 6 to hit are more hits.
Extra hits.
Now, that will not stack with sustained hits given to you by coming out of reserves from your detachment rule, so you're just going to choose to be sustained hits D3 instead of sustained hits 1. But basically, 6 shots, hitting on 2s, dev wounds. It's okay.
It's okay. Let's see what the rules are. See if something here is going to help her out.
Yeah. She's a lone operative. That's a great place to start.
I do like lone operatives.
Not getting shots is an awesome place, but with 12-inch range to be shooting with her, you're kind of in shooting me range, which I don't love. When this model is set up using the Deep Strike ability, if it is set up within 3 inches horizontally of a friendly Genestealer Cult battle line unit, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches away from the enemy. If it does so, it can't declare charge.
So basically, you can deep strike closer than 9 as long as you're within 3 inches of a battle line unit, but doing so, you can't charge. Which is fine. I don't really want to charge with her.
So if you could stack that with like the 3-inch away strat to get in a really strange spot with your Kellermorph. She's not super potent with shooting, so I'm not sure why you would want to, but you could.
Yeah.
And then the Gunslinger ability, we've seen this before. Basically, it means if you shoot a battle line unit while she's within 3 of it, then she can just shoot you back, which I like as a rule, but again, her guns aren't super awesome and 12-inch range.
The range has been... We've seen this in a couple places, and I think it was intentional.
Yeah.
But it's 12-inch range on basically every unit that has this, and these are all lone operatives who get shot within 12.
So what I do like about her is not her offense or this gunslinger ability. I think all that's relatively mediocre and hard to apply. It's the lone operative deep strike combo, because that's great for just showing up somewhere, 32 mil base. Here's my action this turn. Here's my behind enemy lines this turn. Just happening. And it's kind of hard to deal with.
Yep. So hopefully she's just a nice, cheap little skirmishing unit that can be a lone operative deep strike in places and try to clear out, your opponent's 5 rangers, cultists, 5 scouts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
All right. Ooh, the Locus. Remember how I was talking about focus?
Focus Locus?
The focus Locus?
So what does the Focus Locus do, John?
All right, so the Locus here is it's actually another 3-wound Genestealer character, but this one's T4. Deep Strike, fight first, and a leader. Spoiler alert, it's going to have the same rule as normal. You can join it to a unit with another character. And while it's leading a unit, the unit gains fight first. Nice. And when this model's leading a unit, all other characters attached to that unit have a feel and pain of 4+. Now, if you scroll down just a smidgen for me.
Just a smidgen.
So, it can be joined to, the 3 units you'd expect. You can do it even if there is a Genestealer Cult character there, as long as it's battle line. Here's what I like. The Focus Federation, the Focus Locus, is what let you heroically intervene for 0 CP. And this unit if there's a Locus, always fights first.
So you can take the Focus of Adoration on your Locus for the Focus-Locus combo.
Focus-Locus combo, yeah.
And then your Acolytes or your Metamorphs can Heroic Intervene fight first.
Exactly. It's kind of tasty.
That's kind of tasty. I don't love it just because they don't hit super hard in combat. Like, if this guy could join Aberrants, I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it.
I like it on Acolytes if you take a unit that actually is taking the rock weapon, the mining weapons.
The combat heavy.
Yeah, because you can actually, when you're fighting first, it can be really annoying. Plus, that whatever unit is charging you is now also in combat with a separate Genestealer cult unit. And if you can take a chunk out of them, they may not be killing what they were planning on.
That's true. It's just a janky kind of heroic intervention John play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it because since all of your units can heal potentially if you shell out the points for these icons, I like that if you go heroic and maybe do some damage to you that was charging you, they may not get the full kill.
Yeah.
And if they kill half a Neophyte unit and then we saw that what an icon does for everyone else, probably do the same thing for Neophytes in a second. I like that you could then just res them back.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, let's keep on rolling. We got the Magus. Garbage stat line as you'd expect.
4 wounds.
4 wounds. 4 wounds. She won't die to your own explosion.
Yeah.
She gives your unit that she's leading 5 penal pain against psychic attacks. So anti-Thousand Suns tech. A little redundant considering the Acolyte icon word
just does it the same. So I'm hoping she does a little more. She's got a few rules.
Mind controls looks like it's a lot of text. This has got to be good. At the start of your opponent's shooting phase, 1 Psyker model from your army with this ability can use it. If you select 1 enemy within 12 and visible to the Psyker, roll d6. On a 1, Magus takes D3 mortals, and she won't die to it.
Yay.
On a 2 through 5, they're -1 to hit. And on a 6, they can't shoot.
Yeah, within 12 inches is a little soft there.
And that's the start of your opponent's shooting phase. So like, man, I would really like to shoot with my Taunar. I don't want to risk him rolling a 6 and me winning the game. And so I'll just, walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once per battle, start of any of your opponent's shooting phases, you can use the Psychic Familiar to double the range to 24.
Okay, so basically 24 inches once per game, and then you're not really going to get effective use out of it again. -1 to hit to whatever the most potent shooting things that you can see is, because they can also play around your own physical line of sight with this check.
No.
And
visible.
You could attempt to roll a Yahtzee 6.
She's not that inspiring, but she does add a little bit of mind games. She's cute.
If she's like dirt cheap, I could see it.
Yeah, she's not the most exciting character we've seen.
Historically, she's like 80, which is criminally overcosted. I would like to see her not be 80.
I would like that very much.
Yeah. She's got Acolyte hybrids, Metamorphs, and
units.
What you'd expect. So we've already seen the Neophyte hybrid data sheet, but now with more context of stratagems and rules, I think we should just go over it again. Basically, what we can do here is we can give ourselves in a 20-man unit 4 of the heavy weapons and 4 of the special weapons, and a bunch of hybrid firearms.
Yeah.
So the Seismic Cannon with max buffs is going to be hitting on 4s, strain 6, AP3 ignores cover, sustained hits. If you somehow manage to stand still, it's actually going to be hitting on 3s, D3 damage.
That could happen if you just get killed and then come back.
That's really easy for that to happen.
You just put yourself in range and say, yo, make sure you kill these 20 Neophytes you weren't planning to kill.
So it's going to be 4 of them is 16 shots, sustained hits if you come in from reserve, 24 shots if you're in rapid fire range. Strength 6, AP3 ignores cover, D3 damage. That is hard hitting. And +1 to wound access.
I like +1 to wound.
And +1 to wound access. All right. And then here's the thing I really like. For their 4 special weapons, I think you should take the Webbers or the Flamers. The Webbers are Dev Wounds, which, we all know about Dev Wounds. They're only Strength 2 damage to 1, which garbage. But, Strength 2 with +1 to wound is still wounding on 5s. And damage AP2 is AP.
And Dev Wounds, if you have 4 of these, it's, you average 14 shots. It's just like add 2 or 3 mortals every time you shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Bloop, bloop. I actually kind of like the grenade launchers.
Really?
Mainly because once you pop +1 to wound and a little bit of AP stacking, if you want, that could end up being a very decent anti-tank weapon.
It really could. It's 1 shot, which hits on a 4. I don't love that, but you could.
Hits on 4s means that ballistic skill +1 would be 3s.
Yeah, and maybe there's ways to get
Maybe there's ways.
And Flamers, of course, here
Always
also get
valuable.
to AP2 and just 4d6 AP2 +1 to wound hits on somebody.
And
strong.
I think you could even do a mix, because having a Flamer unit get up within 3 inches of people and then just say, all right, who's going to move? I'm going to Overwatch. Who's going to move?
Yeah.
Could be scary.
Yeah. So they also have more rules, because the Neophytes weren't good enough. At the start of your command phase, roll d6 for each objective marker you control that has 1 or more units from your army. On a 4-up, you gain a CP.
Great. Love that.
And they heal, same as before, but even more. So up to 3 models always, and D3 +3 if they're on an objective.
Wow, they really want you to put Neophytes on objectives.
Yeah, that's kind of where...
also what I want to do.
They're OC too. I think they're the kind of person I want on my objective.
That's exactly what I would like.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Neophytes are kind of your bread and butter in my mind, and then you tech in Acolytes to like help and do the other stuff. But now we're talking about the Nexus, who I also love because he makes your army work.
This is exciting.
So I think he's a run 2 unit. I really do.
Yeah.
So he once per turn, you can select one model from your army with this ability as the target of the strat for 0 CP, even if you've already selected a model from your strat for that phase.
Once per turn? That's your turn and my turn.
Wow, that is. What strats could I want to use on your turn? Maybe don't shoot me if I'm outside 12? Yeah, maybe Overwatch?
Do you think you would rapid ingress 12.1 inches away from someone?
I wouldn't do that.
And then use the don't shoot me strat?
Oh, wow, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Do you think I could maybe use +1 to wound on 2 units and then use +1 to wound for free on another 2 units? So if like 4 units are +1 to wound?
That'd be pretty good.
Or I could make like 2 units +1 ballistic skill, +1 AP.
That'd be pretty good.
And it would be free.
Free is good.
Free
now,
is
this
good.
is the same thing as we've seen in like the Captain, where only one Nexus on the battlefield can use this ability. But having it in 2 places does mean, one, if he dies, you can use it on a second squad.
Yeah.
And a Nexus is normally, historically, like a 40, 50 point character. And he may be more, he may be less.
His ability's good.
We'll just find out.
We'll find out.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
And that's free strats.
Free strats.
Free strats, you can make that more expensive than it's ever been in the history of the game, and I would still probably take it.
Literally, CP are gold right now. And also he comes with another rule, Cult Infiltration. Move a blip, an ambush marker 6 inches in both my command phase and your command phase.
Oh, your opponents may be trying to get a little bit too close to a blip. Just back up a little bit.
Back it up.
They maybe didn't get close enough. Well, let's move it
Well,
forward.
I think where this is really powerful is at the beginning of your opponent's command phase, you can see how your turn went and then just adjust.
Yeah, like you left something alive maybe a little bit that you didn't think you were going to.
yeah.
Let's pull a blip away from it so that your opponent really is going to be inconvenienced.
Right. Or you can even just make someone come into the open to get rid of the blip. That's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, scoot the blip straight into the open and say, are you going to come pop it? Well, if you do the Acolyte, I can remove it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, John.
Dirty.
Dirty tactics here. And he can join your friends. That's important. So let's talk about the Patriarch. The Patriarch deep strikes, he infiltrates as well. He gives devastating wounds to his friends. His friends are the Purestrains Genestealers.
Makes sense.
He's got a 4 Invul.
Oh.
Stat line a little underwhelming, to be honest. Only 5 attacks. That went down. Strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. Dev wounds, though, with Twin Linked.
I like that he's twin linked. That helps.
Dev wounds, Twin Linked is a great combo. He hits on 2s. Toughness 5, 4 Invul, 6 wounds. He's okay. At the start of the fight, everyone within 6 has to take a battle shock test, and once per battle, I can double the range of that to make everybody within 12 take a battle shock test.
Okay. So the battle shock test is interesting because it's the start of the fight
So
phase.
both players here.
And I think I would rather use that double in my opponent's turn.
I know.
If they think they're charging in, maybe they're planning to use a strat, maybe your opponent's counting on an interrupt. You could even stack this with the Clamavus, make some battle shock tests a little harder. There's some jank there. I like it. And I like that he gives Dev wounds to Purestrains.
Giving Dev wounds to Purestrains.
That's the part that I'm excited about.
That's like the shot right there. And the Primus is actually...
Yeah, hold on. Do you want to just scroll down to Purestrains? We're in the P's. It's got to be close.
Okay, there it is. All right.
Yeah, this is probably the only
this is the
thing that can
combo.
join a Purestrain. Let's just do it now.
So Purestrains, they got a cool little stat buff, and it's really subtle. They still move 8, they're still toughness 4, they're 5 save with a 5 Invul. Oh, what is this? 2 wounds, hello!
A second wound is pretty spicy.
And they're pretty spicy. I think they're still on 25mm basis. They are also 4 attacks, each hitting on 2, strength 4, AP 2, and 1 damage. Did you know, John, that is a full unit is, 10 dudes, 40 attacks, hitting on 2s with devastating wounds?
Devastating wounds helps. And the unit's eligible to declare a charge in turn which is advanced.
Wow, and it infiltrates.
And it's just this unit. So if a Patriarch were attached, he would be part of this unit.
It sure would. Yeah.
Yep.
And you got Cult
He would be
Ambush,
part
they'll
of
come
the
back to
unit.
life on a 4-up as well.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
So, yeah, Patriarch and Purestrains Dev wounds.
All right.
It does a lot of Dev wounds.
All right, we're still in the P's. Nick, hit me with the Primus.
The piece for the Primus. This model's great. So he pretends to be good at combat. He's really not. He's got the Cult Bone Sword, which is 5 attacks, strength 5, AP 2, but then 1 damage.
Yeah, it's whatever.
And then he's got 2 extra anti-infantry, 2+ attacks that are strength 2, AP 0, and D3 damage.
Yeah, we know he's not there for the damage.
Well, this is what he is here.
He's got some rules.
He's got rules. He's a cult demagogue, which means he joins a unit, and then each time a model in that unit makes attack, you can reroll the hit roll.
Shooting combat?
Shooting combat, whatever.
Whatever you want.
Wait a second. So those 24 heavy seismic cannon shots that my Neophytes hit on 4s.
Well, if we gave them +1 ballistic skill.
+1 ballistic skill from the strat.
Okay.
+1 AP from the strat, too.
Sustained hits.
Sustained hits for showing up on reserve. Ignores cover.
Ignores cover. Reroll hits.
Reroll hits.
Would you shoot a Ridge Runner at that first?
Yeah, then I would get another
So +2 AP.
+2. So that would also apply to all of my shotguns.
All the shotguns.
So like
your
all
Webbers, your flamers.
Would you make all your Webbers, flamers, shotguns, the Strain 6, seismic cans? Would you make it all +1 to wound?
Oh. Only if I had a way to gain CP with my Neophytes.
Well, what if I told you could make the whole 2 CP strat free with the Nexus?
Oh, beautiful. But it only targets his unit unless it's a strat that targets 2 units.
Because then it targets him
and
also
then this
another
unit, and it's still free.
But it's still free.
Oh, Nick.
So let me get this straight. On turn 2, top of turn 2, bottom of turn 2, I really don't care. I'm going to show up with 40 Neophytes with double Primus, and I'm going to pop the strat for +2 to wound, and I'm going to pop the strat for double AP and +1 BS on both squats. And they're both going to reroll hits, and they're going to hit on 4s, and they're going to reroll everything, and they're going to be +1 to wound, and +2 AP, ignores cover, and sustained hits.
Nick, I'm going to be honest. You said so many damaging rules that I couldn't hear them all. That's a lot.
The
That's a lot of
long
buffs.
story short is your very, very presumably cheap little garbage guardsman Neophyte people are probably going to kill Custodes.
So if you looked at that seismic cannon, you said, oh, it's 4 to 6 shots, a ballistic skill 5, it's never going to hit anything.
Yeah, very
You
easy to
looked
make
at that and
call.
saw that. And you know what? When they previewed that article, well, this wasn't live yet. I hadn't read it yet. But I read that article and I was like, oh, man, seismic cannon's not
it.
not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit better than it looks.
No, I think this is awesome. And it's also a volume
This
of
is-
fire type of damage attack. You know,
You're selling
flamers,
it.
Webbers, seismic cannons. So, like, averages will kick in, which means you're not loading all your damage into a single Bright Lance or something. It means you're loading all your damage across 40 dice that you get to reroll twice or something. So,
Nick, you are selling me here. You're speaking a language I like to hear.
You like your dice, John.
I do like volume. I
you
like dice. I like rolling. I like just getting a handful of dice and just throwing it across the table, knocking over my own models.
Want to know the best part, John?
He can join all the units I want him to join.
He does do that.
Oh, cool.
But the best part
What's that?
is that he comes back to life. Well, not him, but all his friends.
Oh, his friends.
All his
too.
friends.
Oh, okay. I
All
was
his
like,
friends.
woof.
No.
Primus too?
Just all the friends. Just all the friends. Just another 40 Neophytes come back after you killed the first 40.
Oh.
So we've already been over Purestrains, and I would like to take a second here and just talk about Super Italian join the worm as a gold member.
Oh.
Super Italian, you are going to love it. We are going to flood it. We got points coming tomorrow, games coming to you, and all the rules breakdowns you could ever want.
As soon as GW gives us points, you would think that we'd be putting out a lot of games.
Yeah.
That's something I'm excited to play 10th edition.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish I was playing it right now. But talking about it's the next best thing.
And you know what? We're going to go from talking about it to playing it to talking about playing it.
All in the worm. Thank you for joining, Super Italian.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Reductus.
Everybody loves the Reductus Saboteur.
I love her.
John, it's got a lot of words. This sounds like it's an all-you thing.
Alright, cool. Well, she's a 3-wound Genestealer cult character, but she has Infiltrator, Lone Operative, Stealth. That's what matters. She's not a leader, she's a lone op. Cool. She's got a couple rules here. So, first up, she has a demo charge. Same as all the other demo charges you've seen before, except, oh man, that 5's looking a lot like a 2. Yeah, she's Ballistic Skill 2+ with that demo charge, not 5+. So her demo charge connects. Still it's a game. Now her remote explosives are very different, but they're indirect fire, D6+3 blast, hits on a 3+5, 0, 1. Still 24 inches on an indirect fire from a lone operative, I can get behind that. That's just a little bit of cheap damage. And hey, we've already said there might be some ways to improve some AP around here. So, good start there. Now, primed and ready. In your shooting phase, you can select the one model from your army with this ability as the target of the grenade stratagem for 0 CP, provided that model hasn't already been the target of that stratagem this phase. This can allow you to use the grenade stratagem for second time this phase. So hold on. So if those bikes ran up and dropped a grenade on someone, I could still have my Reductus do it, and I wouldn't even have to pay for it.
Whoa. So you could then add your 39 bike mortals, which across 2 turns, and then add 6 more to it?
Yeah, and luckily, her demolition charge is assault, so she can advance and shoot, which means she can advance and use the strat.
Wow.
Now, she also has a primed explosive. Once per battle, when an enemy unit ends a normal move or fallback or advance within 12 of her, you can use the Reductus Mine. If you do on a 2+, D3+3 mortals.
So, after I'm done rolling 45 dice
Yeah.
on 4s, you take mortals. I roll a 2 up, and then you take another D3+3.
Yeah, well, only if your opponent wants to move.
Right. That's fair. Two of these mortals.
And she's a lone operative.
Moving.
So do you think anyone is going to try to move within 12 of her?
Well, only if they'd like to shoot or charge her.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's not like in a phase. It's just like anyone gets within 12 of her, then I huck a bomb.
Boop.
Yep. And you know what? If your opponent spends the whole game without getting within 12 inches of your Reductus Saboteur, your lone operative Reductus Saboteur, all right, you got me. Yeah. I've been outplayed.
It seems good.
Yeah, I like it.
You know,
I like her a lot.
She's one of those characters that wasn't good for a while, and look at her now.
And honestly, I'm happy because when we got one, I loved the model so much I painted it up.
Soaring.
We're already ready.
Are we ready for the Sanctus, though? This is also your favorite. This is you.
I do love Genestealer.
For those of you who may not know, John and I both played GSD at the same time. We had very, very similar lists, very similar results. But one area we just could not agree on is our Sanctus. Mine did nothing. John's killed demon princes.
Yeah, well, I think that Nick just didn't understand the context which I was coming from. Because I loved the Sanctus and Nick loved the Callimorph. I didn't even run one. And that's because my Callimorph was shooting at Richard Siegler's shield drones. And you didn't know what that meant, so you were like, this guy just doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Sanctus is something that I love because, well, he did once kill Jim Vessel's Demon Prince in one shot, and that was pretty great. So let's talk about what the Sanctus does.
Does he still kill demon princes?
He's a little different. So he either has a Colt Sniper Rifle or a Biodagger. The Sniper is Anti-Psyker 2+, heavy precision, not dev wounds though. 1 attack, hits on a 3, 5-2-3. It's a good sniper rifle, nothing crazy, but it's a good sniper. This guy's a 3-wound character with a 5-up invuln, Infiltrator's lone operative stealth, so another lone operative here, I like that. And if you take the Biodagger, it's anti-infantry 3+, 6 attacks, hits on 2s, 3-2-1, so you really need that anti-infantry. Now let's get to the rules. This has got to be what does it, right? Mm-hmm. So, this unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. So he's always shooting, he's always charging. He's great. But with his Psychic Spore at the start of the first battle round, select one enemy unit to be this model's prey. Each time this model makes an attack that targets its prey, it has ignores cover devastating wounds. So he's not bad at killing one thing. No,
and it's also Anti-Psyker 2+. You see a little Psyker just kind of walking around. CSM has a lot of Psykers that they want to just have to their units. Kaboosh! Dead. Yep. And Thousand Sons, they're an army. No.
And I like it, because even though this, you could do a sniper rifle, it's kind of cool. You could do a dagger, it's kind of cool. I'm hoping he's a little bit cheap, because he doesn't quite combo as much damage as before. But you know what? He's still a lone operative. And I actually really like that he can shoot and declare charges in a turn which advanced or fell back. Even if you take the knife, he can shoot after he advanced. What's that you said? He doesn't have any ranged weapons? But there are some missions where a cheap lone operative running around the table, able to shoot, I think could score you some tactical cards.
The Sanctus, the Callimorph, and the Reductus Saboteur are all going to compete for which lone operative is the best for holding the backfields.
Yep, and I think the Reductus is the most impressive, but I'm going to be honest here, the cheapest one wins.
The cheapest one wins. But before we keep going, I want to take a second to talk about Populous Monster, who's been a member for 4 months. Grenade Launcher is my favorite for consistent 24-inch range weapons if you want/need to set up blips farther away. Awesome.
Populous Monster. I love the grenade launcher. I actually think that we're going to end up taking different weapons on different Neophyte squads. I think that I actually like the grenade launchers the most on the Primus squad, because then you get to reroll hits. You don't need the torrent weapons. But then on the ones that don't have a Primus, maybe I take some flamers and some levers. Either way, whatever models you built, I think there's going to be a really valuable role for Genestealer Cult in this edition.
Speaking of Genestealer Cult in this edition, that's actually the end of it.
That's Genestealer Cult.
That's Genestealer Cult this edition, at least for now. So we're going to keep at it, everybody. We got so many more live streams coming. We've got Ascension Day here. We've got Xenos Day here. I'm trying to find the pretty picture to zoom in on.
Perfect. There we go.
There it is. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be live probably in like 15 more minutes for the Tau book. Everybody loves the Tau book.
Richard has been waiting. He's chomping at the bit.
He's plugged into the mainframe, literally absorbing the Tau data into his wireframe.
Yep.
So anyway, if you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us what you think about our 4-armed friends. And then also, if you're interested in learning your 4-armed friends or anything about Warhammer, how to get better at it, how to learn the game, and how to become your best, why don't you check out the link below in the description. It's right below me, it's right above John, and it's right down there for you to click, thewarroom.vhx.tv. It's a 3-day free trial of our subscription service, The War Room, where we have literally tons of content teaching you about how to get better at Warhammer. And as soon as we're able to start playing games as early as tomorrow, you best believe we're going to be putting content in The War Room.
Absolutely. There is not a better time to to join. It's the beginning of edition. There's so much to talk about. The community's so excited. There's so much content. Now's a great time to join. We hope to see you there.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we are going to catch you later.